Why did you do it?
Anyone in my shoes would have done the same.
I don't think you realize the time, money, and resources that went into this operation. You pissed off the wrong people.
Hell Is Us is probably the most unique game I've played this year, and it's probably going to be the most unique game I've played in a long time, which is probably quite surprising to hear considering, well, it kind of just looks like another Souls-like, and we already have way too many of them, let's be real. And I'm definitely on the page of I am absolutely sick of Souls-like. I can live without Souls-likes for like probably another 10 years. They're just everywhere, and almost none of them come close to Dark Souls or From Software's catalogue. The only one that I can think of that comes close is Nioh 2, but Hell Is Us is kind of an outlier in this because unlike those games, the combat and RPG elements are not the main focus at all. Hell Is Us is about the exploration, and it does the exploration incredibly well. I'm not going to be going into spoilers whatsoever in this video, I'm just going to be talking about the intro and a tiny bit of Act 1. By the way, before I talk about it anymore, you can actually get Hell Is Us for 25% off on Green Man Gaming. They were very kind to provide me a key of the game as well, so if you click my link down below you can get redirected to the page to buy it for yourself. It's not even a full price game, so you're getting 25% off a game that doesn't even cost full price, and it's a pretty good game as well, just letting you all know. Something that Hell Is Us does that I really like is the fact it respects you. It respects your intelligence. And by that I mean it tells you nothing. Well, okay, that's a lie. It tells you stuff, but it doesn't remind you of those things. There's almost no indications on what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to find things, or how you're supposed to find things. And that's because you're pushed to actually make notes and listen to NPCs with what they have to say. See, for example, in the beginning of the game, I came across this old guy, and obviously the main character wanted to know where to find a vehicle to get out of the place he's currently in. And the old guy says, "Oh, I saw one in the forest, but you can get lost in the forest very easily, which is why I put wind chimes up to guide my sons when they went there." And see, a problem I have with a lot of games is I kind of glaze over during dialogue because, like, I'm just like, oh, the game's gonna give me hints. It's gonna put up a waypoint. I don't need to worry about any of that. But Hell Is Us does not do that. So if you don't follow those wind chimes, you can go in a completely different direction. You might find something else. You just don't know. But then following the wind chimes, you find an injured soldier, and you can't progress until he gets a med kit. And all he says to you is, we set up a camp in a certain direction and we marked trees so we didn't get lost to find it. And it's just, this is the intro. And whilst it's not really hard to get lost because it is pretty straightforward paths, I really like the idea that even in the intro, you need to listen out. You need to listen to these NPCs. You can easily have no idea what you're doing if you don't talk to any of these people. Anyway, after that point, you help him, you go inside a tomb, and that's where you first encounter the enemies, and you get your first combat encounter. And yeah, Hell Is Us's combat is nothing really special. I do really like the enemy designs though, like I love how abstract and weird they look. Very iconic. I can see these being very iconic designs. They stand out so much, although there's not really much enemy variety so far. I hope that changes further in. There's multiple different weapons you can use. You start off with a sword and a bit later you get dual axes, but again, it's very simple. It's your pretty basic Souls-like affair. You know, you just slash them and look out for your stamina. But because this combat isn't the main focus, I don't really mind this. I don't really mind how basic it is, unlike, say, in Lords of the Fallen, where I just feel drained and depressed while playing through it because combat is such a heavy focus of that game, because it's just trying to be Dark Souls. But after this tomb, it opens up a bit more with these trenches, and you can find a lot of things that you just have no idea what the purpose is. You get an incredible sense of mystery of wanting to explore in Hell Is Us. Like, for example, I found this random tower that had a bunch of like screaming and sounds coming from inside it. No idea how to open it up. No idea what it is. I can imagine it's something you come back to later, but I am heavily intrigued by it. As soon as I stopped playing the game, I was just thinking about that tower. I was like, what the fuck is in there? I want to know what's in there. Oh, and also, I also went back to the old man at the start to check on him after the abstract creatures had been unleashed, and you can actually ask him about the tower, and he like tells you to not go near it because it's haunted and it's fucked up, so it just creates even more intrigue. And as soon as you beat this intro, what the game has taught you about exploration and what you need to do is it just lets you out, fully unleashes you to explore. You can go anywhere. You're probably going to get killed, but you can go anywhere. And that sense of exploration is just so good in Hell Is Us. So if you're into games that don't hold your hand and let you explore an open area, then Hell Is Us is perfect for you. Especially one with so many intriguing elements. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Hell Is Us. I feel like it's a very cool game, very unique game. It is probably the most unique game I've played this year, and I definitely recommend it.